Are you impulsive? Are there days when you feel like a tornado just flying in and out? Do you wish you could learn how to be more intentional and in control over your behavior, responses, emotions, and mindsets? Do you have moments where you reflect on your day and are miffed or embarrassed at how you showed up or behaved at something or someone? I've so done this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Liz or Elizabeth Lewis, and I'm sharing the one thing you need to do to increase your control over yourself while simultaneously becoming more intentional. The control I'm speaking of is the personality trait of control. Someone with high control is disciplined and maintains control over their emotions, behaviors, and thoughts. They would honor the think before you speak or act cardinal rule that mom and dad taught us. We could describe them as calculating or deliberate. Whereas someone with low control is very impulsive. They do not follow that cardinal rule and are notorious for speaking and acting before they think. They fail to consider the consequences of their words and actions. Their feelings dominate them. They may struggle more with the thinking trap that feelings or thoughts are what they say they are. And we could describe them as impulsive or rash. Now, if you want to know where you fall in the personality trait of control, go ahead and take the performance development assessment. That link is going to be right down below in the description. This assessment takes like 5 minutes or less, and it scores you in 23 personality traits. And you'll get a PDF that will help you learn how to either increase or decrease each trait. Plus, on my channel, we're going to discuss the personality traits you need to develop to be successful in anything you do, especially as a professional. So make sure you go ahead and hit subscribe to stay current. I also have a podcast called The Liz Show. It talks about similar things, but I'm way more unraveled because who knows what's going to happen? And that link is going to be in the notes too. Now, I'm not sure if you do this, but I am someone who hyper-focuses when I work. It's very easy for me to get in the zone. Sometimes I lose track of time and I like to be in flow, and I know how to quickly get myself into flow too. But sometimes I have to take a break. I have to either go to a meeting, meet a client, or eat. And as much as I don't want to admit this, sometimes I agree to meetings, and then the meeting comes and I'm like, no, I don't want to go because I'd rather keep working and stay in the zone. You know what I mean? Are you like this? Let me know in the comments below. Theoretically, I could blow off the meeting, right? I could not show up. I could leave my client hanging, but I also value my integrity. It's important for me to do what I say I will do. At the same time, I want to be a very loving, encouraging, optimistic person who inspires people to believe that they can do whatever they set their minds to, especially when you do life with God, because all things are possible with God. And I've seen this happen in my own life. It's amazing. But I'm also a human, so I am imperfect, I am flawed, and sometimes I let my insecurities get the best of me, or the whirlwind of the day get to me, and it causes me to show up in a way that I don't want to represent myself as. Has this happened to you? It's okay to admit it. We're sharing and growing together. For instance, the other day I was in the zone. I was hyper-focusing, I was on point, and then I had a meeting. I agreed to this meeting ahead of time, so I had to show up. But when the time came, I was like, no, I don't want to go, right? Because I was making so much progress on some business stuff. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to stay in flow. To make matters worse, I was running late. And I come from a production background, so being late is being fired. Of course, that immediately triggered my perfectionism, so now I'm anxious, right? Has this happened to you? Anywho, I showed up at this meeting, and in hindsight, I didn't do a great job of representing the person I want to be and am. This is the danger of first impressions. Humans are flawed, and sometimes we show up less than ideal, so please remember to give people grace and second chances. In the last few weeks, I have consciously and mindfully worked on being intentional. Pausing and getting my mind straight before entering the event, the meeting, or the session. One thing that helps me to show up more intentional is I say a quick prayer to God, I recite a verse, or I visualize how I want to represent myself regarding my values and beliefs. Ultimately, I'm taking intentional pauses or timeouts. Here's the thing. Taking intentional pauses is powerful. Mindful moments, mindful pauses, timeouts, or power pauses are essential for increasing self-control over behavior, words, emotions, and so much more. Pauses can help you be more in control and less reactive. Look, like I said, I don't like being late. But I don't like showing up as someone less than my ideal self. If you're going to be late, I encourage you to communicate it. I communicate it even if it's going to be a minute or so. I'd rather do what I need to do to stay calm and in control than show up like a crazy person. But you also have to respect the other person's time. Now, if you struggle to implement those pauses, start imagining yourself successfully enforcing pauses. It's incredible how when you intentionally visualize the behaviors you want to participate in, how that will help you do them and implement them. Visualization is a very powerful tool. Imagine who you would be and how you would represent yourself if you took an intentional moment, a power pause, a timeout. You must personalize and experiment with these power pauses or mindful moments to determine what is best for you. Here's an example of what these pauses might look like. But big picture, you want to start to intentionally train yourself to, number one, take a breath. Consider flaring your nostrils and really breathing in deeply before you respond or show up or enter the meeting. Number two, intentionally take a time out or a moment just to gather your thoughts. It's about speaking with control and intentionality. Number three, ask yourself, who do you want to be? Number four, how do you want to show up? Ask yourself that. Number five, what impact do you want to give in this meeting or session? And number six, how do you hope they will remember you? Those 2 actions and 3 questions can help you show up with more intentionality and more as the person you want to be. It's a small thing to do with huge results. That's the power of control. Being intentional and implementing self-restraint to be the best person you can be. I believe humans are meant to freely give love. And when you do this, it's easier to give unconditional love, which is a choice and a mindset, but it takes intentionality. It takes taking a pause. So take a second to breathe and be intentional with your words, your behaviors, and your mindsets. Get yourself together. Now, I understand that you can't always do this, but you can most of the time. There's always an exception to the rule, and the exception here is when maybe fast thinking is necessary. The more you slow down and practice, though, the more you can implement this when you have to process quickly. So start doing it today. Doing what I'm saying helps you have better control. Self-control or self-discipline has to be practiced and you evolve in it. The fastest way to grow in discipline is by implementing it and getting positive experiences. So you'll be calmer with more practice. Let's recap. Number 1, go take that performance development assessment. If you want to know where you score with the personality trait of control, you can go to elizabethlewis.com/performancedevask, or that link is right there in the notes below. Number 2, visualize yourself taking mindful moments before responding. Practice this. Visualize an hour a day cumulatively for at least 90 days of you practicing that mindful moment. Number 3, start implementing mindful moments. Start with a second and gradually grow it to 2, 3, 4. And number 4, continue to personalize and experiment with your mindful moments or power pauses. Please make sure you hit subscribe to stay informed about my latest videos. I release one long video every single Monday, and I release short videos pretty much every single day, sometimes multiple times. My channel talks about psychology, business, and faith, and I am dedicated to helping you become a tough-minded optimist to increase your impact, influence, and income. My name is Liz or Elizabeth Lewis. Go and create a great day and know that I am rooting for you.